Next is Phylum Annelida. So when we see about the characteristics of this Phylum Annelida, it is named as Annelida because the body shows ring-like structures. Okay, the body is divided into segments. The body shows ring-like annular segments. That's why it is named as Annelida. Okay. Now when we see the other characteristics of this, they are aquatic. Where they are found, they are aquatic in nature, or they can be seen on the terrestrial area, that is on land, aquatic, terrestrial, or they may be free living. They can also be parasitic, found in the attached with the body of other organisms. Okay, then they exhibit organ system level of body organization. Yes, hereafter all phylum will be showing organ system level of organization, and they show bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic organisms. Okay, and they are metamerically segmented organism. That is, their body is divided into segments, both internally and externally. We can see their body is divided into segments, and they are coelomate animals. Coelomate means they are having a true body cavity. Okay, so inside that body cavity only all the organs will be located. Okay, then their body is marked into what? Segments or metameres. Each segment we can say it as metameres. Okay, and these organisms possess longitudinal as well as circular muscles. They are having longitudinal as well as circular muscles, and these muscles help in locomotion. You might have seen the movement of the earthworm, isn't it? With contracting and relaxing the body by the help of these muscles, they will be moving from one place to another. Okay, what is locomotion? Locomotion means moving from one place to another. So they possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help them in locomotion. And if you take the aquatic annelid like this Nereis, so here this is the Nereis. Okay, this is Nereis, this is earthworm, this is the leech. So this Nereis, it is having paired structures called parapodia, lateral appendages, which is called what? Parapodia. So what is parapodia? On either side of their body we can see paired structures will be there, that is called parapodia. And this parapodia helps them in swimming because they live in aquatic medium, isn't it? So it helps them in swimming in the water. Then when we see the circulatory system, they are having a closed circulatory system, that is well developed blood vessels are there. Through that blood vessels the blood will be flowing. Okay, so they have a closed circulatory system. And the excretory organ is called nephridia. Nephridia is the excretory organ which helps in excretion as well as osmoregulation. Osmoregulation is balancing salt water concentration in the body. Then the nervous system, that is the neural system or the nervous system, consists of paired ganglia which are connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. They are having a double ventral nerve cord. Two nerve cord will be there, which we say it as the double ventral nerve cord, which is positioned in the ventral side, and to that the ganglia are connected by means of lateral nerves. What is a ganglia? Ganglia is formed of a group of nerve cells. Okay, a cluster of nerve cells or a group of nerve cells together form the ganglia. Ganglia is plural, ganglion is singular. Okay, so the neural system or the nervous system consists of paired ganglia, and these ganglia are connected to the double ventral nerve cord. Nerve cord means formed of the nerve tract or nerve fibers which will be running throughout their body on the ventral side. Okay, so it is the ganglia are connected to the double ventral nerve cord through the lateral nerves. Okay, so that is about their nervous system. Then the Nereis, which is an aquatic form, is dioecious in nature. What is dioecious? The sexes are separate in Nereis, but if you take earthworm, it is a hermaphrodite. That is, it is monoecious, or the sexes are not separate. Okay, and reproduction is sexual. Examples, if you see, as I have shown in the previous slide, Nereis, is one example. Ferretima postuma is the name of earthworm, or Hirudinaria. Hirudinaria is a leech. Actually, it is the blood sucking organism. Sanguivorous animal. Sanguivorous animal means blood sucking animal. Okay. Next phylum is phylum Arthropoda. Okay. So why it is named as Arthropoda? Arthro means jointed. So they are having jointed legs. Pod means what? Leg. Okay, or appendage. We can say it as appendages, or the legs or limbs, we can say. So as they are having jointed legs or jointed appendages, they are named as Arthropoda. This phylum is named as Arthropoda. Okay. So this phylum is considered to be the largest phylum in the animal kingdom, because it includes a lot of insects. See, in your surrounding, if you just turn over and see, you can see several insects, isn't it? At least ant or cockroach or some flies, so you can see it, isn't it? So as a lot of insects are there, we can say this is the largest phylum. Okay, so it is the largest phylum under the animal kingdom. We can say about 2/3 of all the named species on the earth are the arthropods, because insects will be there. Okay, about 2/3 of the species. You imagine how much a large number of varieties of arthropods are there. Okay, then they have organ system level of organization. Okay, then they are bilateral symmetrical organisms, which we can get two equal halves in only one plane. Then they are triploblastic, that means they are having three embryonic layers: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Their body is segmented externally and internally, divided into many segments. They are coelomate, that is a true body cavity is present. Now, externally, if you see, their body is surrounded by a chitinous exoskeleton. So, if you see the body here, you can see the body is surrounded by a chitinous exoskeleton. What is chitinous exoskeleton? Outer skeletal like structure, a little harder structure is present. That's why it is exoskeleton. Outside the body, the skeletal structure is there, and chitinous means it is formed of chitin, an organic material called chitin is present. That's why it is said to be chitinous exoskeleton. See here, you can in this diagram you can also see the jointed legs, isn't it? Can you see here? This is the jointed leg. So it is formed of many joints. Here on joint, here another, here, then here itself, so many joints are there. That's why this is organisms with the jointed legs. Okay, now the body is divided into three parts. What are they? Head, thorax and abdomen. The body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. And as I have told, they are having these jointed legs. Then the respiratory organs, different types of respiratory organs are there in the different types of insects or organisms which comes under the arthropoda. So what are they? Gills are there. The aquatic arthropods will be having gills or book gills. Then terrestrials will be having book lungs. So this is the diagram of book lungs. Okay, then tracheal system. Okay, so these are the respiratory organs present in arthropoda. So what are they? Gills, book lungs, or a tracheal system. Then when we see about the circulatory system, the circulatory system is open type, that is blood vessels are not well developed, so open type of circulation is seen. Then the sensory organs, they also have sensory organs like antenna. So here you can see the antenna at the anterior end. Okay, here you can see the antenna. So antenna is present at the anterior end. Okay, then they are also having the eye. Compound eye or simple eyes will be present in them. Compound eye means the eye will be made up of many small units. Okay, small units, and they all join together and will help in vision. Okay, so antennae is there, eyes are there, and statocyst are the balancing organs which is present in their body. Inside our ear we are also having certain balancing organ like that. They are having the balancing organ which is called as a statocyst. Okay, so this balancing organ is also present in them. So these are the sensory organs present in Arthropoda. So what are they? Antenna, eyes and statocyst. Okay. Then excretion is done by Malpighian tubules. So which is the excretory organ? Malpighian tubules are the excretory organs. Okay. It is associated with the digestive system. Then they are dioecious. Dioecious means sexes are separate. Different sexes are present. Okay. Sexes are separate. Then fertilization is internal. We can say fertilization is internal. They are oviparous. Oviparous means what? Egg laying animals. They lay egg. Then the development may be direct or indirect. Okay. So in some organisms it can be direct or it can be indirect also. Okay. So the we can say the development is direct or indirect. Okay. Now when we see the examples, a lot of examples are there. Some of them are economically important insects are there, like honeybee, bombyx, silkworm we can get, or the lacifer, lac insect. Lac means what? A gum like, a resin like substance will be produced which is of various commercial uses. Okay. Then some can act as vectors like the Anopheles or Culex, Aedes mosquitoes, houseflies also, or gregarious pest, very fast eating pest, which is very much dangerous to our farmers. Okay, locust, you may be heard of the locust swarms which used to come and attack in such huge numbers and spoil the whole field, isn't it? Or some living fossils like limulus can also be seen. So this is about phylum Arthropoda. So here you can see some of the insects which comes under, not only insects, some of the organisms which comes under the arthropod. Okay. Next is the phylum Mollusca. So Mollusca is the second largest phylum in the animal kingdom. When we see the characteristics of this mollusk, they are terrestrial or aquatic in nature. Okay, so they can be seen in the terrestrial area as well as in aquatic marine water, or even in fresh water also we can see. Okay, and they have organ system level of organization, and they show bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic with ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, and they are coelomate animals. That is, they are having a true body cavity. The body is covered by a calcareous shell. You might have seen the pila, isn't it? The apple snail you might have seen. The body is surrounded by a calcareous shell. Calcareous shell means the shell which is formed of calcium carbonate, and the body is unsegmented. So in the previous Arthropoda Annelida we have seen the body is segmented, but here it is unsegmented, and the body is divided into head, three parts, that is head, muscular foot and visceral hump. So what are the three parts? We can say it as head, visceral hump and a muscular foot. Okay, so the body is divided into three parts. Head, a distinct head is there, muscular foot is there, and a visceral hump is there. Okay, so these are the three parts of the body. Then a soft and spongy layer of skin will be forming a mantle over the visceral hump. Okay, so above the visceral hump, that is all the body part other than the head and the muscular foot is said to be as the visceral hump, and above that viscera there is a soft and a spongy layer of skin. A skin will be covering that like a mantle. It will be forming a mantle above that visceral hump. Okay, the space which is present between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity. So what is mantle cavity? The space which is present between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, and inside that mantle cavity is a feather like gill is present. Okay, so what is present inside that mantle cavity? A feather like gill is present in that mantle cavity, and the gill is helpful in respiration. Okay, Not only respiration, even it can help in excretion also. So mainly it helps in respiration, but it can also help in excretion also. Okay, so that gills are present in the mantle and helps in respiratory and excretory function. Then the head region has sensory tentacles. If you see the head region of these mollusks, they will be having tentacles in them. Okay, see here you can see the tentacles. So the head region consists of tentacles, and the mouth contains, inside the mouth, if you see, it is having a file like rasping organ for feeding, and that organ is called radula. What is file like rasping organ? Rasping organ means a tongue like organ in which the teeth is present, which is used for cutting the food material. Okay, so that's why we say it as the feeding organ called the radula. Okay, so the mouth contains a file like rasping organ. Rasping means a tongue like organ with teeth on them, which is used for cutting the food. Okay, and that rasping organ is called the radula. And these organisms are dioecious. Usually they are dioecious. Dioecious means sexes are separate, and oviparous. Oviparous means they are egg laying animals. Okay, and they show indirect development, that is larval stage is formed, larval stage is present. Okay, now examples we can see: pila, apple snail. Pila means apple snail, or pinctada, that is pearl oyster, inside which we can get the pearl. Okay, in the mantle cavity, if a small dust particle or sand particle enters, it will be surrounded by the secretion of that mantle, and it will be converted into the pearl. That oyster is the pearl oyster. Or sepia. Sepia is the cuttlefish. So the cuttlefish means what? This one is the cuttlefish, which is edible in nature. Okay, so sepia is there, or a squid is there. So this is the squid. Okay, or octopus. You can see the octopus. Yes, so or see here dentalium, Ketoplera. So these all are some of the examples of mollusca. Okay. Next phylum is Echinodermata. Echino means what? Hedgehog or spiny. Okay. Derma means skin. So these are spiny skinned organisms. Okay. Their body is covered by a calcareous shell, which is formed of spiny skin. Okay, so that we can say it as spiny skinned organisms or Echinodermata. Okay, so they are having an and say it is given as endoskeleton, but actually it is the exoskeleton, which is formed of calcareous ossicles. Okay, calcareous spine like structures are there, so it is said to be as spiny skinned organisms. Okay, they are having an exoskeleton outer the surface. They are having an exoskeleton which is formed of calcareous ossicles. Okay, so it is named as Echinodermata, that is spiny skinned organisms. These organisms all are marine, and they have organ system level of organization. Okay, then the adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical, but the larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. Already we have seen that. Then they are triploblastic with ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm in their embryonic layers. They are coelomate with a true body cavity. Yes. Then digestive system is complete, and here the mouth is present on the lower side, that is in the ventral side, and anus will be seen on the upper side, that is on the dorsal side. Okay, then another distinguishing feature which is present in this echinoderms is the water vascular system. So they are having a water vascular system through which the water will be circulated, and that helps in locomotion. Okay, it helps in locomotion, then capture of prey, and transport of the food as well as for respiration. So for all this it is used. Okay. So a water vascular system is a peculiar characteristic seen in Echinodermata through which the water will be circulating, which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of the food as well as respiration. And excretory system is absent here. Then sexes are separate. Okay. Separate male and female are present. Then reproduction is sexually only they used to reproduce. Fertilization is generally external in nature, and development is indirect. As I told you, they have a larval form which shows bilateral symmetry. Okay. Now example, if we see, examples are asterias, that is starfish, echinus, here you can see the picture of that also. This is the sea urchin or echinus. This is the sea cucumber or cucumeria. This is the sea lily. This is the brittle star. Okay, and this is the starfish. Okay, so that these examples are given. Okay, so these are some of the examples of Echinodermata. Okay. Next is the phylum Hemichordata. Actually, this Hemichordata was earlier considered as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata. Okay, but now it is kept as a separate phylum called the Hemichordata. Okay, earlier it was under the subphylum Chordata. It was considered as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum. Okay, under the non-chordata, because it is having a rudimentary structure. Rudimentary is a minute, a primitive structure called a stomochord. So this a stomochord is present in them, which is somewhat similar to that of the notochord. Okay, and it is present in the collar region. If you see the organism, here you can see this is the collar region. So in this collar region, what is present? A stomochord is present. Okay, and so it is kept as a separate phylum now, because it is not having similarity with the chordata. Okay, so it is not having a true notochord, but it is having a stomochord. Now this phylum includes worm-like animals. We can say they are worm-like. See in the picture you can see the organism is worm-like, and they are marine organisms. Okay, they show bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic organism. They are coelomata, and the body, if you see, it is cylindrical. Okay, it is the worm is, the body is cylindrical in nature. Okay, and it is having anterior region of the body is called proboscis. Then it is having a collar and a long trunk. So this is the proboscis, this is the collar region, and this much part is the long trunk. So these are the three parts of the body of this hemichordate. So the body is cylindrical, and it has an anterior proboscis, a collar, and a long trunk. That circulatory system, when we see, it is open type, and respiration occurs through the gills. Okay, because it is marine organism, so respiration occurs through the gills. And excretory organ is the proboscis gland, which is present in the proboscis region. Proboscis gland is there, which acts as the excretory organ. And sexes are separate. Okay, fertilization is external, in the surrounding water it occurs, and development is indirect. That means larval form is present. The egg will hatch into a larva which do not resemble the adult one. Okay, examples are belanoglossus and sacoglossus. So the picture what you are seeing here is the belanoglossus. Okay, next is the phylum Chordata. So this chordata is having specialized features like a notochord. They are having notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, okay, and a paired pharyngeal gill slits. So these are the three main specialized features which are present in the chordates. Okay, or we can say these are the three main fundamental characters. So here you can see a notochord is present here. The notochord is present, the yellow colored one, then the blue colored dorsal hollow nerve cord is there. Okay, then here you can see the pharyngeal gill slits are there. So these are the three main fundamental characteristics of phylum Chordata. Now in addition to that, we can say they are bilateral symmetrical, they are triploblastic organisms, coelomate, they show organ system level of organization. Then they also possess a post-anal tail. Here you can see the post-anal tail is there and a closed circulatory system is present. Okay, so these are the characteristic features of phylum Chordata. Okay, now when we compare this chordate with the non-chordates, what are the characteristics by which we can compare them? So one is notochord is present in chordates and it is absent in non-chordates. Okay, then second point, if you see, central nervous system is dorsal and hollow and single in nature. Okay, the central nervous system, where is it present? On the dorsal side. We are having our nervous system, central nervous system on the dorsal side. Okay, so chordates are having central nervous system in the dorsal side. It is hollow in nature and it is single. But if you take non-chordates, the central nervous system is ventral, it is solid and double. Okay, then pharynx, if you see, it is having gill slits. Pharynx is perforated by, perforation means holes are there. How the holes are made? By the presence of gill slits. So gill slits are paired pharyngeal gill slits are present where? In chordate, and that gill slits are absent in non-chordates. Okay. Then if you see, a heart is present and that heart is ventral in position in chordate. In us also, if you see, in our ventral side only the heart is present and the heart is dorsal. If it is present, it is dorsal in the case of non-chordates. Okay. Then a post-anal tail or a post-anal part is present in the chordates. What is post-anal? Near the anal region, a tail is present or a post-anal part is present in the chordates, and that post-anal tail is absent in non-chordate. So this is a comparison between chordate and non-chordates. Okay. Now, when we see about this phylum Chordata, it is divided into three subphylum. So what are the three subphylum of this phylum Chordata? It is Urochordata, or otherwise we can say it as Tunicata, then Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Okay, so these are the three subphylum: Urochordata or the Tunicata, then the Cephalochordata and the Vertebrata. Okay, so this subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata are commonly called as, or often they are called as Protochordata. Why they are called as protochordate? Proto means they are the primitive forms, isn't it? Primitive forms of chordates, first formed forms of chordates. That's why they are called as protochordates. Okay, so subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often called as protochordates, and generally, exclusively, they are marine in nature. Okay, all are marine forms. And how we are differentiating the Urochordata and Cephalochordata? In Urochordata, the notochord is present only in the larval tail region. Okay, only in the larval form. In adult it is not there, only in the larval form, and that too in the tail region it is present. And if you take the Cephalochordata, the notochord is present from head to the tail. Okay, from the head region to the tail region it is present, and it is persistent throughout their life. That is, throughout their life this notochord will be present. But in Urochordata, only in the larval stage and in the larval tail it is present. Thus these two are differentiated. Okay, now when you see the examples of Urochordata, Ascidia is an example. So in the picture what you are seeing, this is the Ascidia. So this Ascidia is an example for Urochordata. So these are Ascidians. Then for Cephalochordata, Brachiostoma, this is Amphioxus or lancelet. Okay, so this is the Cephalochordata. So these are the examples of Cephalochordata and Urochordata. Okay, I hope you might have understood that.